Hang on. Snowflake Nightmare ass. Carlin, do you think any of our history has been true that's been taught to Americans? Fuck no, I don't. Fuck no, I don't. I mean, history is written by the victors, right? So we always get but like we never really think about what that means. Think about how many times you heard that saying, like history is written by the victors, before you ever actually thought about like what does that actually mean for everything that we've been told. It means everything we've ever been told has been a lie. First of all, there's always two sides to every story. There's always multiple perspectives, right? But we never get the perspective of the losing side. We only get the exaggerated perspective of the winning side that seeks to make themselves look as good as possible while making the losing side look as evil as possible. And you can look at just like, I mean, like think about it like an example of this, right? Think about what we see happen on the internet every day to Nick Fuentes. Every single day that guy has some sort of hit piece written on him or he has someone coming after him, and there's always these things that are taken out of context and then twisted to mean something it didn't mean, to make whoever is coming after Nick look like the hero and the righteous one and the one that everyone should follow, and to make Nick himself look like he's lower than dirt. And I mean, it's like almost an impossible thing to deal with, right? But we have all seen this happen in real time to him. You know, you like my supporters have seen this happen to me. This happens to people all the time. Now let's extrapolate that out to every single worldwide event that we've ever read about in history books. The winning side wrote the narrative that was the best possible representation of them, taking what happened and twisting it to make themselves look even better than which they were. And the losing side has been twisted by the winning side to look as bad as can possibly be. And that's literally every single event throughout history. That's crazy. Grapeaholic says nobody we know lived through this. It's all secondhand info. I watched 9/11. I've heard the narrative, and I knew it was a lie, and it happened in front of me. Yeah, I mean, I remember 9/11. I was in college during 9/11. I remember distinctly what because I was supposed to have lunch with a friend and he was interning at a news station in Boston and he texted me or like IM'd me. I like instant messenger was the thing at the time because I'm old. And he's like, I can't make it. I'm sure you know why. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Turned on the TV, saw what happened, and then I went to my college, where I was at Boston University, and I just like watched on the TV monitors with everyone else in like the college entryway. So I remember the news stories that came out, and I remember like there were so many conspiracies flying around back then. You know? Yeah, who controls the past controls the future. Who controls the present controls the past. Yep. See, it's such a mind fuck. It's such a mind fuck. And that's why I feel so strongly about like creating like journaling things, like documenting news stories, documenting all the different types of socialist stuff that we do. And maybe none of the stuff that I document or none of the stuff that I journal on all of my different sites, maybe all of that's just going to get erased one day when we inevitably lose, because I do think we're inevitably going to lose. Maybe everything I've ever created to kind of like document what's happening in this time right now will just one day disappear. It'll be wiped off the internet because we lost, and that's just what happens. But I feel so strongly about creating things because it's at least some sort of artifact, and maybe it survives, and maybe someday 50 100 years from now someone finds something I wrote documenting an incident that I was like the only one who documented it because I was the only one who thought to write it down and archive it and stuff like that. Maybe 100 years from now someone finds that, and that's like a piece of the puzzle where they used to figure out here's what was happening during this time. Anyway, yeah, we need a good old fashioned time capsule. Yeah, Nick might not. Breeborg says, or Bree rather, Nick will win, but it might take a long time. I don't think we have as long as it's going to take for that. But I mean, like, I want him to win. Don't get me wrong. I'm completely on board with it, but I think he has less time than he might think. But anyway. Oh, last thing I'll say, because Hyper Floridian is saying that's what made me rethink old books. These people were closer to the source of things. Just because something is current or revised does not mean it's true, but many people impulsively think it is. Yeah, so I always tell people to do this, but like I recommend everyone start creating a library of physical older books. Like go to your libraries when they're having book sales, go to like, secondhand stores or whatever, go buy all the old books, especially like pre-civil rights era books, and just save them and start creating a collection, because it's one of those things where someday those books are going to disappear and there aren't going to be digital copies of them because no like there was no like there are so many books in the world, you can't ever create that many like you can't ever document everything, right? Especially stuff that was written a long ass time ago. So make sure you buy old books, save up old books, like because the print books can't be changed. Like that is the documented source of like history, right? But if we expect all this stuff to get digitized someday, that can get wiped out in a second, that can get changed, that can get altered, but you can't change a physical book.